Greetings, fellow Fright Fiends, and thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone. I hope everyone's doing well. Today's video is kind of a spontaneous video, but it's one I've been thinking about doing for a while, and I've thought about doing it on several films that fall into this category of being remade, and if that remake was even necessary. There's times that I think that some films benefit from being redone. There's actually a few remakes that I think are better than the original films, and that might be something I talk about. In this case, this is one that was a remake that when it was first announced, I was really disappointed that it was going to happen. I consider the original 1989 film a masterpiece. There's some people that were critical of it based on the acting of some of the leads, but I never had a problem with it. And it's a film I saw when I was a freshman in high school. I had some friends take me on my 15th birthday to see it. So it has a really special place in my heart, and it's also one of my favorite Stephen King books of all time. Of course, I'm talking about 1989's Pet Sematary, written by Stephen King. He did the screenplay, and directed by Mary Lambert, of course starring Dale Midkiff, Denise Crosby, the late great Fred Gwynne, Miko Hughes. It's a fantastic film, and a film that I still feel like holds up exceptionally well. This film is still disturbing. The elements in this just work so well. Zelda is still absolutely terrifying. I love Victor Pascal and just the way he's peppered into the story as Lewis's guardian angel, warning him about the dangers of the Micmac burial grounds that are beyond the Pet Sematary. And Gage's death, which still is probably one of the most horrific scenes that really doesn't show you the after effect, but you feel it every time, and it's just the way that it was directed. A great documentary is Unearthed and Untold: The Path to Pet Sematary, which shows how they shot that incredibly sad scene and incredibly moving scene that just rips your heart right out. I love everybody in this film. I know there's people that are critical of Dale Midkiff and Denise Crosby, but I actually really like their performances in this film and never had a problem with them. I think everybody shines in this film. I think Mary Lambert did a fantastic job. I love Elliot Goldenthal's haunting score, and just the locales. The fact that this was actually one of the few Stephen King films shot in Maine, which is an inspiration for probably 90% of his stories, and it was right down the street from his house. So he was on set. So this just feels like an authentic Stephen King film. And I never understood why they wanted to remake it. I remember the rumblings for a Pet Sematary remake started in, I'm going to say, late 2010, early 2011. I started hearing that George Clooney was attached to a Pet Sematary project. And yeah, I just wasn't... I didn't understand why you would want to remake something that was adapted for the screen by the writer himself. Didn't make any sense to me. And then after the It remake, of course they announced, because the It remake was so well received, then it was announced that the Pet Sematary remake was being fast-tracked. I think there was a rights issue that was going to revert back to Stephen King, if I'm not mistaken. So the Paramount only had the rights for a small window of time, so they rushed the film out. And what we got was last year's Pet Sematary, directed by Kevin Kolsch and Dennis Widmeyer, who were known for the film Starry Eyes, which I am a huge fan of. I think it's a great film. Cast of Jason Clarke, Amy Seimetz, and John Lithgow. And of course they took some liberties with it. This wasn't adapted by Stephen King. This wasn't shot in Maine. They shot this in Canada. But did this movie need to be remade? Is this a superior film to this one? As much as I enjoyed this film, I don't hate this film. I think it was well done for what it was. I think the reason for that had to do with the two talented filmmakers. Also, I thought some of the acting was good. I like Jason Clarke. I like John Lithgow. I didn't like him as Judd. For me, Fred Gwynne is Judd, and that was a hard one to sort of sell. But there are some elements that I think work really well. I think the change of having it being a different child was smart. I think trying to recreate what was done in the original with Gage dying I don't think it would have had the impact of this film, and I think it was smart to go a different route and have Ellie being the one that is killed in the accident on the roadway. even though that was a major plot point that was spoiled in the trailers, which I never understood. The thing about this film is I feel like it goes through the motions a lot, and there's some things that just don't work for me. Victor Pascal does not work in this film at all for me. It just didn't have the impact on me that the original did, and I almost felt like he wasn't even necessary to be in the film. So, you know, and there's some elements that they changed. The ending is very different. I think there's the alternate ending that is showcased on this Blu-ray is actually better than the one that I think they used in the film. I think it actually has more of an impact. So, do I think that this film is better than this film? No, I don't. Do I think it was needed to be remade? I really don't. This brings nothing new to what this film established. It didn't reinvent it. It changed some elements up to sort of shock people that thought that it was just going to be going through the motions like a Psycho remake did or the Omen remake did. But for me, it just was unnecessary. They didn't need to remake this. I would have preferred a third film in the Pet Sematary franchise as opposed to a remake of the original, which I think is superior. This film will always be my favorite in the franchise, and although I did give this a favorable review and I did enjoy it because it did do some things that were different and it didn't just rehash what had been done here, but at the same time it's forgettable. If I'm going to reach for a Pet Sematary film, I'm going to grab this one. I have no desire to really watch this one very many times. I just feel like it's just, again, I feel like the heart isn't there. It was something that was done as a cash grab to capitalize on Stephen King's name at the time, which was becoming more popular because of the success of it. So yeah, even though I enjoyed it for what it was, I've only revisited it a handful of times since it came out nearly 2 years ago. I'm curious what other people's opinions are. Are you a fan of Pet Sematary, the remake, or does this one not do it for you? There's some people that don't like this film, and I think it's a lot of people that are watching it now and didn't grow up with it. But again, just curious what other people think about these films. If you like one over the other, please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Would love to hear from everyone. Also, real quick, wanted to give a shout out to a fellow YouTuber, somebody that I know is trying to grow his channel. He's an amazing artist. He goes by Ghost Pirate Entertainment. I'm going to put a link down below to his channel. Really been enjoying the content that he's been doing. Right now he's focusing on the Phantasm franchise, and he's doing reviews of all of those films. An awesome guy, somebody that lives really close to where I do here in the San Francisco Bay Area. He's up in Sacramento, but yeah, just a really kindred spirit in terms of our tastes in movies and horror, and I think he's an awesome guy, and I want to see his channel grow and become more successful. So again, Ghost Pirate Entertainment, link down below. Hopefully you guys will check him out and support him. Thanks so much again for dropping by the Horror Zone. I really appreciate everyone taking the time to watch these videos, and I got some really cool stuff coming up real soon. So take it easy, stay scared as always. Peace. Thank everyone for taking this time to drop by the Horror Zone. It really means a lot to me that people are supporting what I do here. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button down below. I upload videos at least once or twice a week. It would really mean a lot if people would spread the word about this channel. This is a passion of mine. I love the horror genre, and I'm really happy to share my love of it with all of you. So thanks so much again for checking it out, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy. Peace.